93% of real estate agents wind up failing within their first 2 years of being licensed. What's up, guys? My name is McKeown. I'm a licensed real estate agent and investor in the Dallas-Fort Worth area as well as the Orlando, Florida markets. Now, what I can tell you guys is after being licensed for now north of 6 years, I have a firm grasp of what it takes to be successful in the real estate industry. Now, I will be honest with you guys, when I first got my real estate license, I had not a clue what to do. I don't have any business background, not just myself, but also in my family as well. And I had really no experience whatsoever in my life with building a business like I have with my real estate team. Now, there's one thing that definitely comes with being licensed for as long as I have. A lot of my friends, colleagues, people that I just randomly run into ask me about real estate and whether or not it's something they should pursue personally, maybe on the side, or quit their full-time job to pursue full-time and get their real estate license. But again, guys, if you look at the statistic, 93 out of 100 agents that get licensed won't even renew their license once the renewal period comes up at that 2-year mark. So let's talk about exactly why that is. Now, I'm going to go over a handful of reasons throughout this video of why I believe a lot of real estate agents don't find success. But I will tell you, more than anything else, if you are looking to get your real estate license, or maybe you know someone that is getting their real estate license, a lot of their success or lack thereof is going to come from within. Now, this all starts with my personal story back in 2016 when I started to get my real estate license. I moved to Dallas in 2017, began a teaching job, and I did real estate part-time, meaning I did it during my conference periods, I did it during my breaks. I technically even was texting clients when I was coaching wrestling in the mornings and evenings. I was trying to do real estate as much as I could throughout my day, but I still had my bills paid by my full-time teaching and coaching job. Now, I will tell you, this is where a lot of people struggle. They get their real estate license and they assume they want to go part-time because they have a full-time job, and then they put no time or effort into their real estate business, so it goes nowhere. Or on the flip side of things, they feel like they're going to find so much success in this business that they wind up quitting their full-time job, and they wind up finding out that, hey, I haven't been paid for the last 3, 4, 5, or maybe 6 months, and I can't continue to do this, so I'm going to leave real estate and go back to where I was. So really, that's going to be on you or the individual that got licensed. You need to figure out what best suits you, whether or not it's part-time, full-time, or a mixture of the two. I can tell you I went part-time, but I was really still working full-time until I built up enough business to where then I could go completely full-time and leave my teaching job. But also comes a lot of discipline that's going to be required, and motivation at the end of the day too. When it comes to a real estate agent, getting up every single day, consistently putting in work day in and day out, and finding results because they've been consistent with their work. Now, an example here is I actually posted an opportunity for an open house this past weekend. I opened it up to everyone at the current brokerage I'm at. No one wanted to entertain the idea or the opportunity, so then I opened it up to other realtors, technically hungry realtors that aren't at my brokerage. I had 2 individuals that reached out, one for Saturday and one for Sunday, and one of the agents actually acquired a client that on that day wrote an offer and were moving under contract on that house for. Now, this was an opportunity that I opened up to 100, 150 different agents. Some vary from very, very experienced to brand new agents, and no one took up the opportunity. The only person that took up the opportunity was agents at another local brokerage who now have yielded the positive return on gaining a client and likely a contract that will close in about 30 days. Now, I feel very fortunate and blessed to have my business where it is today, but my business has not always been where it's at today, especially the first 3 years of my business. Now, again, that first full year I was teaching and coaching, but the next 2 years was an absolute grind. I was constantly driving around town showing as many buyers as I possibly could, because especially early on in real estate, you're not going to have a lot of listings. You're going to deal more than likely with buyers, which buyers require you to kind of chauffeur them around town and show homes to them. Some want to see 2 or 3. And I can tell you I've also, on the flip side, shown one client in my early days north of 75 homes. So you can see the amount of work from just showing properties. And that's not the entirety of my job. I also, once I go under contract with a client, have a ton of stuff that I have to schedule out for and work for them really over the course of the next 30 days until that contract closes. So there is a ton of work, but that's all going to be on you. Truly, if you don't wake up every single day and consistently put in work, you're not going to see results. I'll give you another example last year when I was building my real estate team. If you show up to the office at about 1 or 2 p.m., you're likely going to be what I consider a part-time agent. A part-time agent is going to get part-time results. Now, if you show up at the office at 8 or 9 in the morning, when I was showing up to the office every single day, you're likely going to see a lot more success and a lot more results because you're putting in, obviously, more time and more effort. And honestly, guys, this is the biggest issue that I see people running into trying to become a real estate agent or trying to find success in real estate, because they go from and really have always been part of something where they're told what to do. They're told what time to be at the office. They're told what to do at the office when they get to the office. And they know at 4 or 5 o'clock at night, that's exactly when they go home. And none of those are going to apply when you own your own business. Now, the next reason a lot of real estate agents fail is take a look at that bank account. Let's see how much you actually have saved up, and let's determine whether or not you are going to be in a position to where you have enough savings to kind of stomach the ups and downs of real estate. Now, once again, guys, I was working part-time at a full-time teaching job that really paid my bills, and at the time I had honestly not a lot of expenses because I had bought my first duplex, was house hacking that duplex with 2 roommates. So I technically had a mortgage, but my roommates plus renting out the other side was actually cash flowing. I had a minor car payment, insurance, had to cover food for my dog and myself. Other than that, I had very little expenses. So my full-time job easily covered all of my monthly expenses. So I didn't have to close a deal next week. I didn't have to close a deal next month. Technically, it took me 5 long months before I even closed my first transaction. But again, my situation with being a full-time teacher, I wasn't stressed about finding immediate success. I was only trying to push and work as hard as I could, knowing that success was going to be the long-term goal. Now, once again, guys, this is a big issue that new real estate agents come across. Technically, this is an issue that even experienced real estate agents are dealing with who maybe have been licensed for 20 plus years, and that's not having enough savings. Now, I'll be honest with you, 2020 and 2021 were just ridiculous years in real estate, especially down here in Texas. I think anyone with our eyes closed could have sold a home in our market. The issue was finding an actual house that didn't have 15 offers on it already to get your buyer a house. But moving into 2023, we're kind of going back, especially with higher interest rates, to what we would call a little bit more normal of a market. And real estate agents are starting to find that success in 2020 and 2021 doesn't exactly equate to success now in our real estate market in 2023. So the issue is if you're a new agent and you're looking to go full time, you may need to have 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 months of savings to cover your butt until you actually close a transaction. And then on the flip side, maybe you aren't a brand new real estate agent, but you're struggling to find success now. If you don't have enough money stored away for when times were good, like I mentioned in 2020 and 2021, maybe you didn't pay your taxes or you just blew all the money that you earned in those easy years of real estate. Now in 2023, you may be finding yourself out of the business because you weren't smart with your finances before. Now, my suggestion here, whether or not you're a brand new real estate agent and you're not even licensed yet, or maybe you're someone like I mentioned just a second ago, you've been licensed for 10 or 15 years and are finding a lot of, difficulty right now in our market, you need to find different ways to earn income outside of just closing real estate transactions. I can tell you when I was a teacher still, I was also renting cars out on Turo. I'm not a fan of Turo, but at the time, I was making income off of it. I was also doing Uber when I didn't feel like I had any real estate business or obviously wasn't teaching. I'd hop on, turn on Uber, and make maybe $100 or $150 that evening. You need to be able to be comfortable making income through other sources. Now, myself, 6 years in the business, a majority of the income that I generate now is through various different ways in real estate. Now, I don't rent cars out on Turo anymore. I don't do Uber anymore, but I have about 9 or 10 streams of income that, hey, if I have a month of no commissions, I'm still going to be okay because I have enough money set aside and I also have enough money being generated through the other streams of income. So if you are looking to get into real estate and you are one of those potential statistic of 93% of agents failing within their first 2 years, and you're looking to maybe do this full time, I highly suggest that you guys have enough savings to maybe go at least 6 months, because that potentially could be, if not more, how long it takes for you to get your first paycheck. Now let's talk about the next thing that people struggle with in this industry, and it's one of the reasons why you're going to either have success or really not have success. There's really nowhere in between, and that's lead generating. Now, one of the beauties of this industry is there's not one way to be successful. I can tell you a lot of people cold call. That means calling random people that potentially could want to list their home or maybe purchase a home. Potentially door knocking. Door knocking is going up to a house, knocking on the door, having a conversation, trying to build a relationship with them and see down the road, or maybe at that given time, that they may want to purchase or sell a home. I can tell you, having been licensed 6 years, I've done neither of those, not even one time. Now, it's me personally that doesn't love rejection. That cold calling and door knocking probably isn't the best route for success for someone like me. But on the flip side, someone like me who enjoys social media, who enjoys creating content, I've spent the last 6 years on social media, creating an audience, building a platform, and just really getting to know people by following them, by adding them on Facebook, by engaging with them through YouTube or TikTok or Instagram, whatever it may be. Now, the beauty of social media is that you can reach a huge audience, potentially even more than you could ever reach calling, mostly because there's an opportunity to go viral. For instance, I have YouTube videos that have 50, 60, 70,000 views. There's no way I'm going to be able to make 50 to 60, 70,000 calls, maybe over the course of many, many months and years. But that YouTube video is going to be on YouTube forever and continue to gain views. Now, in addition to that, I've got thousands of followers on Facebook, I've got thousands of followers on Instagram, and I've got tens of thousands of followers on TikTok. So the opportunity to really reach a huge audience on social media is far easier than trying to cold call or trying to door knock. It's not to say, though, that social media is the only way to be successful. It's the way I have found success. But again, there's plenty of people out there that have found a tremendous amount of success in this business by cold calling and door knocking. Now, the issue comes is when, hey, I don't want to door knock, I don't want to cold call, and I don't like social media. Well, guys, I mean, there's only so many ways that you can generate business, and going to the grocery store every single morning, having random conversations with people is probably not going to result in a ton of real estate transactions. So you're going to have to find something that you do consistently and do it consistently enough with good results that then turn into clients that build relationships with you, that turn into closed real estate transactions. And truly, when it comes to lead generating, a lot of it's work up front, meaning I've got to find the person, I've got to help them, I've got to work through that process of that transaction. But by the end of that transaction, that person is no longer a random person. It's no longer a client to me. It's actually a person that I've built a good relationship with, that I now follow on social media, that I talk to on a pretty consistent basis, or maybe a monthly, bi-monthly, or quarterly basis, to where now this person is a friend, not a client or a stranger. And moving forward, especially having been in the industry 6 years, those people wind up coming back to me for repeat business. Now, real estate as an industry to me has been life-changing. It's been the most fun 6 years of my entire life, and I can't wait to do this for the rest of my life, only being in my mid-30s. I'm excited to see what the future may hold for me. Now, that's not something that every single real estate agent can say, but what I do see a lot of the time with people and newer real estate agents getting into the business is they see the success that I've had in the last 6 years. They see a lot of, I guess, the rewards that I am achieving or getting to now. They don't see a lot of the work that happened the first 2 or 3 years of being in this business. They didn't see me waking up every single morning at 3 o'clock, at the gym by 4 o'clock, back home by 6 o'clock, starting my day by 6:30 or 7, and working through the rest of the day, having to have a nap in the middle of the day because I essentially work 2 full days with a nap in between each one of my days. So a lot of people, especially people that recently follow me, see Casey being a real estate agent 6 years in the business. They don't see the Casey that I was 5 years ago. And the issue with that is now they assume that, hey, Casey has all of this stuff and he's been this successful 6 years into the business. I'm going to become that successful. And bad news is it takes 6 years. It takes 10 years. It takes 15 years to get to a certain level of success in this business. Now, to give you guys an example, it's a show that is on Netflix. I've never watched it myself. I don't really have any desire to watch it myself, but I do hear a lot of real estate agents talking about it, and it's Selling Sunset. Now, again, I've never seen it before in my life, but I can make a strong assumption that it's really showcasing all the greatness and, the high-end luxury listings and just kind of the beautiful life of a real estate agent, which then has people watching the show thinking that they can get their real estate license and have that same life that this individual or team or whatever it may be has on an entire Netflix show. But The unfortunate side of things is real estate is not all glamour and show. What you see on that show is the highlights. What you don't see is all the hard work that came before that. What you don't see is all of the crappy properties and the hours spent on the road and the clients that wind up working with you for 6 months and then you never hear from them again. So you don't make a single penny having spent the last 6 months working with them. So a lot of people will get in this industry thinking that success just comes easy. And I'm going to be the first one to tell you it does not. Absolutely does not. Now, me personally, I gave up an entire career. I have a master's degree in education, and for me, I was not going to accept failure. I've never been a fan of failure from the moment I started being competitive as a young child. So being new to this industry, having to give up my entire career as a teacher and coach, I knew that real estate was going to be what I wanted to do, and I was not going to allow myself to fail. So yes, a lot of real estate agents, especially newly licensed agents, fail in this industry. Again, 93% of newly licensed agents don't even wind up renewing their license at that 2-year mark. Now, again, there's a handful of reasons why. I could continue to talk forever on why a lot of people don't find success in this business. So my advice for folks that are looking to get their real estate license, maybe they're a brand new agent or even an agent that's been licensed for 5 to 10 years, but maybe you're finding a little bit of difficulty in this changing market. My suggestion for you would be not to get in your own way. Work as hard as you possibly can. Put in as much time as you possibly can, and you will reap the rewards. Make sure that you have enough savings set aside to be able to kind of stomach the difficult market that we're in. And then on top of that, make sure that you are consistently lead generating on a daily basis. Whatever kind of lead generation that you enjoy doing, find consistency in it, because again, if you don't like to cold call, you're not going to do it on a daily basis. So be consistent with it. And if you do these things, you certainly won't find yourself within that 93%. Thanks again for watching, guys. Make sure to like and subscribe. It really does help. And stay tuned for the next video.